You don't have the luxury to just say, we don't need it right now, because that's exactly how businesses go out of business. That's exactly how your competitor beats you. Hello everybody, welcome to Surge. This week we will talk about sales nurture and sales flows and your sales playbook. Now, Joe, we deal with e-commerce businesses as well as some lead generation businesses, some service-based lead generation, and that's because there's a lot of overlap when it comes to organic visibility. We do a lot of custom functionality for service-based businesses as well. And when they come to us and they say, hey, we're having issues with our conversion funnels, et cetera, we have to actually assist them. Now, in e-commerce, we often talk about nurture, but that's really web-based nurture. What that means is, do you have a dynamic email retargeting funnel? Are you retargeting on Facebook? Are you retargeting on AdRoll? Are you retargeting on YouTube, right? We talk about all of this stuff, but then there's an aspect of this where we have e-commerce clients, B2B e-commerce clients, where 50 to 75% of the sales happen offline. And what we have seen is incredible. We actually will call these people, their sales reps, and they won't answer the phone. When they answer, the sales process is all over the place. They don't have set scripts of what to say on the first phone call, second phone call, third phone call, right? And they don't have an active closing process to actually be able to grab me as a customer or a client. So what we have seen is we keep increasing their traffic, we keep increasing the web-based conversions, but they come to us and they're like, well, we don't, our sales are not up. Our sales are flat. And then when we actually test their sales flow processes, it's a disaster. So, Joe, my question to you is, now what do you do in a situation like this, a scenario like this, where we as the agency or the development partner we're increasing traffic, we're increasing their conversions, their web-based conversions, but their offline phone call handling flow, sales script, sales flow sucks. What do you do?
Well, we're now forced to get involved into that aspect of their business because right now what they're paying us for is to drive traffic, drive leads that then lead to conversions. However, if there's that disconnect between their sales team and their marketing efforts, then they're not going to continue being clients because they're not able to convert those leads. So we want to retain them as clients. So what we do is we now get involved and we consult them throughout that process. Again, at Optimum 7, we have a sales process. We have a sales playbook. So we're no strangers to what it takes from that first touch to close throughout that entire nurture process. So in this case, we step in and we will act as a sales coach to, guide their sales team, how to answer the phone, how to put a proper script together, and then how to nurture those leads to finally turn them and convert them into sales.
Yep. And the first step to this is we've seen people we have clients, this is crazy, who do $10 million in annual revenue. They don't have a CRM. They're not using a CRM. They're not registering their leads on a CRM. They're not tracking their phone calls. They're not recording their phone calls. They have 6, 7 sales reps and they're not recording phone calls. How do you enforce accountability in an environment like this? So here is the thing. The CEO loves to hear this. The COO kind of likes hearing this. The sales manager hates us because we're going to actually tell it like it is. We're going to say, you know what? Your processes right now suck. Your close ratios have nothing to do with us. We're actually getting you more leads, more opportunities, but you're not managing your sales team properly. But obviously, we can't say that to them, right? So the first thing that we need to do, or the first thing that you need to do as the business owner or the CEO, if you feel like traffic is increasing, leads are increasing, but close rates suck, is you have to start gathering that data. If you don't have a CRM, you need a CRM. If you don't track your phone calls, you need to track the phone calls and record it. Now, we have internal tools and external tools that we use for this. We suggest to our clients. And if we have to get involved in your sales processes, we actually have experts that we work with that can guide you through the sales funnel, the sales playbook, et cetera, as Joe stated. As an agency, we will lose that business if we can't fix that problem. Now, we don't just say, hey, we don't deal with that. We actually consult them and provide value on this aspect. Now let's talk about the functionality side of this, Joe, because this is important. I mean, as complicated as it sounds, sales playbook, sales flow, CRM management, these are actually really straightforward and easy things to do. But somebody has to dig deep. But how about the functionality side of this? Let's talk about CRMs. Let's talk about, recording these phone calls. Why is it important, or why is it so important to grab this data?
Well, I mean, data is the new oil. Data is the most important thing that you can possibly gather for your business aside from revenue. Data is what leads to revenue. So without collecting that data, and the functionality behind it really is having it all integrated, right? Without everything integrated, without your site automatically pulling in those leads and throwing them into your CRM, without your CRM then spitting those emails out into your email nurture, without having that entire ecosystem and having the data flow throughout that ecosystem, you're not going to have an effective sales funnel. So when it comes to the functionality, everything needs to be integrated. And the biggest issue we've seen, like you said, large companies, some don't even have a CRM, but some have really outdated CRMs. Some have CRMs that are desktop versions. They don't even have a cloud-based CRM. So everything's taken offline. Their sales team is manually entering the data when on a phone call, which obviously becomes a nightmare. It's impossible to scale. And at the same time, it's impossible to recirculate that data. So having an effective CRM, being on a prominent CRM that's out there is key right now. And that's what's going to allow you to open up any type of functionality.
Got it. And we have built specific functionalities like phone tracking. We actually have a session ID phone tracking system that we use. It's a quick JavaScript. You install it on your site. It will integrate with your BigCommerce or your Shopify or your Volusion or your Magento or your WordPress or your WooCommerce or your 3D card or your Miva. And then what it does is we have a built-in CRM if you don't have a CRM as a B2B company, so you can use our CRM. Or we can integrate with your Salesforce, with your Nutshell, with your Zoho, whatever CRM you're using. So one thing that we're seeing, Joe, is that these B2B e-commerce businesses, I mean, in the past 30 days, maybe we got about 40 requests from B2B companies. It's up. It's significantly up because B2B is realizing that, I mean, if there's any opportunity that I want to push is B2B e-commerce for all the other agencies out there as well. If you guys are doing any kind of work, any kind of service for PR agencies, for branding agencies, UI, UX agencies, B2B e-commerce is skyrocketing, and we see this. And one of the issues is this integrated ecosystem that Joe is talking about. And people think, or business owners think, that this is not actually possible. We've made this possible with functionality and integrations. So when it comes to integrating, yes, there's definitely an ecosystem there, and it's necessary, Joe, but where do you see the biggest challenge? Is it on the management side? Is it on the executive level? Or is it at the technical level? Like, where do you see the biggest challenge of somebody actually saying, or somebody actually going ahead and doing this?
Well, I think it all trickles down. At the executive level, if you don't initiate this, it'll never happen. If the manager isn't going to the executive saying, we need this, it's not going to happen. And if you don't have the technical team in place, it's not going to happen. So I think that it's really a three-prong approach. Everybody needs to be on board. You need to have the technical ability. If not, you need to partner with someone who does. And as a business owner, you need to understand where your pain point is. And I think if you can't identify your pain point, that's a pain point in itself, because that means that you don't have the data to actually see where you're hurting, where you're choking, or where you're potentially losing sales. So that's the biggest thing right there.
So one thing you cannot do if you're a B2B e-commerce business or B2B business is you cannot cruise. If you cruise, you will die. There's a thin line between prioritization and dismissing a specific task or execution. So at the executive level, you need to be able to make these decisions for marketing, for technology, for integrations. You don't have the luxury to just say, we don't need it right now. because that's exactly how businesses go out of business. That's exactly how your competitor beats you. You have to look at your metrics, look at your financials, look at your analytics, and you have to make decisions based on those metrics and KPIs that you set up. And you have to follow through with your team and make your team accountable to those KPIs. If you are going month to month without looking at your conversion rates, your cost per acquisition, your net profit, your gross profit, your LER, you are not running an efficient organization. So if you are having difficulties with your system and this integrated ecosystem that Joe is talking about, where you record your calls, you make sure that your reps are answering your calls, you have a good sales flow, you have a sales playbook, and everybody's on the same page. If you need any assistance with this, reach out to us. We'll talk to you guys next week.